Forget the massive towers reaching into the sky. While humans build upwards, nature's true architects are working in silence all around us. Right beneath our noses, they're creating marvels so complex that even elite engineers cannot compete. We're about to uncover the brilliant work of creatures so small yet so skilled. They build structures that challenge gravity and logic itself with nothing but beaks and feathers. Ready to witness something extraordinary? Let's dive in. Number 15. Bioweavers. They say nature doesn't have architects, but the bioweaver proves otherwise. During South Asia's monsoon season, male bioweavers become one-bird construction crews. Each selects a high, thorny branch above water, places where snakes and rats can't reach. Then the weaving begins. Using strips of grass or palm fibers, each around 20 to 60 centimeters long, a single male threads over 3,000 loops to create a hanging structure shaped like a sock. The nest starts small and reaches the helmet stage after 8 days. Then comes the marketing. The male sings and flaps his wings, advertising his unfinished home. If the female inspects and approves, he completes the long entrance tunnel. If not, he tears it down and starts again, sometimes up to 20 times per season. Colonies of 20 to 60 nests all angle away from southwest monsoon winds like miniature storm shelters. Myths once claimed bioweavers glued fireflies to their nests for light, but researchers like Suhel Quater and T. Anthony Davis confirmed the truth. Males reinforce nests with clay or dung. No fireflies, just smart design. Studies show that nests built higher on thinner branches are safer and more likely to succeed. Number 14. Montezuma Orapendula nests. Just when you think birds couldn't get more dramatic, the Montezuma Orapendula enters like a hanging opera house stitched into Central American trees. Each female Orapendula weaves her own nest from vines and fibers, suspending it from thin, high branches where predators rarely go. These pouch-shaped nests can dangle just 2 feet or stretch up to 6 feet long. They act like windproof cradles, sheltering eggs from storms and climbing threats. Colonies range from 30 to 172 hanging pods, each a solo mission. The female lays 2 dark speckled eggs, but usually only one chick survives. Nature is beautiful and brutal. A local legend claims Orapendulas build near hornet nests for protection, and it's mostly true. Wasps chase away cowbirds and parasites, while the Orapendula's presence discourages bees that bother hornets. It's a quiet alliance, mutual protection in the treetops. While the females handle the construction, males swing upside down below the nests, flaring their yellow tails and releasing bubbling calls at 500 Hz. Biologist Meredith Miles called it timed choreography, all to impress the builder above. Number 13. Sociable weavers. Deep in the Kalahari Desert, sociable weavers build not just for themselves, but for entire communities. Their nests are massive, communal superstructures that can stretch over 10 feet wide and weigh nearly a ton. One nest can house 10 to 500 birds in 5 to 100 individual chambers. Picture a giant, living haystack balanced on a tree or telephone pole. The layout is architectural brilliance. 10-inch tunnels lead to interior rooms that stay cool during blistering days and warm during icy nights. Inside, temperatures stay steady around 21 to 24 degrees Celsius even when it's freezing outside. Scientists have confirmed these nests act like natural climate control units, all made from twigs and grass. But what's even more astonishing is their longevity. Some nests have lasted over 100 years, passed down and rebuilt through generations. And they aren't just for sociable weavers. Pygmy falcons, finches, vultures, even tree skinks and snakes find shelter here. In Kalahari folklore, these nests are said to glow with life, like sacred temples. And in many ways they are structures of survival, legacy, and cooperative genius. Number 12. Cave swiftlets. If you thought twigs and teamwork were impressive, meet the cave swiftlet, a bird that builds using its own saliva. These tiny creatures live in the pitch-black caves of Southeast Asia and nearby islands. With no twigs or leaves to use, they cling to vertical rock walls and rely on their one tool, spit. Over 35 days, a swiftlet builds a small cup-shaped nest, about 8 centimeters wide, layering strand after strand of hardened saliva. Each nest weighs just 6 grams, yet can hold 2 eggs and 2 adults. It's biological engineering at its most efficient. In massive cave systems like Gamantong in Borneo, thousands of nests cling to the ceilings like white petals. Since the 14th century, humans have climbed bamboo scaffolding to harvest these nests for the luxury delicacy known as bird's nest soup, once believed to offer youth, vitality, and power. These creatures, small and often overlooked, are the master builders of the natural world. Using nothing but instinct, biology, and basic materials, they create structures that defy gravity, endure storms, and shelter generations. While human architects draw blueprints and draft plans, nature's architects quietly remind us, sometimes, the greatest wonders are already here, hidden in plain sight. Myth claims red nests have stronger effects, but the truth is, that rich red color comes from guano acid, not magic. Still, there's a reason these nests became treasures. Swiftlet saliva contains rare glycoproteins and minerals, forming a natural bioadhesive so unique that modern scientists are still trying to fully understand it. Unfortunately, all that attention nearly led to their extinction. Overharvesting, especially in places like the Andaman Islands, pushed them to the brink. But there was hope. From 2000 to 2008, caves that were placed under protection saw a 39% increase in swiftlet numbers. It's proof that when we stop taking and start listening to nature, recovery is possible. Now, speaking of ground-level design, let's meet a bird that builds its nest right into the forest floor. Number 11, the ovenbird. Unlike cliff dwellers or cave nesters, the ovenbird stays close to the earth. It doesn't build in trees or rocky ledges. Instead, this small, ground-dwelling bird crafts a nest that's warm, quiet, and hidden. In the dense North American forests, the female clears a patch of leaf litter and weaves together grass, twigs, animal hair, and thin bark to build a dome-shaped shelter that looks like a miniature Dutch oven, hence the name. It takes about 5 days to complete, standing roughly 13 centimeters tall and 23 centimeters wide. Inside is a snug cup just large enough to cradle her speckled eggs. The brilliance of the design lies in its camouflaged entrance, usually positioned on the downhill side, helping it blend perfectly with the forest floor and hide from predators like snakes and chipmunks. If danger gets too close, the mother fakes injury to lure predators away, one of nature's most clever decoys. She lays 3 to 6 eggs, typically 4 or 5, and after 11 to 14 days of incubation, the chicks hatch and leave the nest just over a week later, staying near their mother for nearly a month. Ovenbird nests are not only shelters, they're unique works of sculpture. No two are exactly alike. Even poet Robert Frost was inspired by the ovenbird's call and craft in 1916. In parts of Argentina, people believe destroying one of these nests can bring drought, treating the bird's home as a symbol of luck and often building their own homes nearby for blessings. But now, from forest floors to sky-high colonies, let's rise back into the air, where mud becomes the medium and community the architect. Number 10, Cliff Swallows. The cliff swallow is a master of communal architecture. This little bird doesn't build alone, it brings the whole neighborhood with it. Using up to 1,200 mud pellets carried one by one in its beak from streambeds and puddles, the cliff swallow constructs an inverted gourd-shaped nest, a hanging clay pod with a narrow tunnel for an entrance. Each finished nest is about 8 inches wide and 4 inches tall, with thick walls that offer insulation and protection. But what really stuns is the scale. These nests aren't built in isolation. Under bridges, cliff faces, and highway overpasses, colonies of swallows create massive mud cities, some holding hundreds or even thousands of nests packed side by side. Both male and female swallows work together, lining the inside with feathers and grass before laying 3 to 4 eggs, sometimes up to 6. Both parents feed the chicks, which fledge in about 3 weeks. Not all swallows play fair though. Some females sneak their eggs into neighboring nests in a sneaky tactic called brood parasitism. While many once believed these mud nests would collapse in rain, studies show the design is intentional, stable, and highly durable. Their center of gravity is perfectly balanced, nature's version of 3D printing in action. Now we enter the swampy sanctuaries of a giant, where sticks and guano give rise to sky palaces. Number 9. The wood stork. Standing over 3 feet tall, the wood stork builds large, flat platform nests up to 5 feet across, high in trees above swamp waters. Both parents are involved, gathering sticks and leaves in a rapid construction sprint that takes just 2 to 3 days. To strengthen the nest, they line it with fresh green leaves sealed with guano. In colonies called rookeries, dozens of these nests cluster together, perch safely above 3 to 5 feet of swamp water, deep enough to keep out predators like raccoons. Each pair lays 2 to 5 eggs, with chicks hatching after about 30 days. The hatchlings start off tiny, just 57 grams, but grow quickly under the constant care of their parents, fledging after 50 to 60 days. Folklore once blurred the wood stork with the European white stork, claiming they delivered babies. In truth, these birds deliver fish, not folklore, snapping their bills shut faster than a blink to catch prey. Number 8. Pendulin tits. Tiny but mighty, the pendulin tit is just a few inches long, but weaves one of the most intricate nests in the avian world. Using soft fibers, wool, and spider silk, the male builds a hanging, pear-shaped pouch that looks like a trapdoor mansion. The inside is where the real genius lies, a fake entrance leading nowhere and a hidden real entrance tucked behind a flap made of spiderweb, nature's version of a security system. Some species even build 2 chambers, one false, one functional, all in the name of protection and warmth. The nest stands about 20 centimeters tall and can hold up to 9 eggs. Studies show females prefer males with the best designed nests, especially thicker ones, which keep eggs warmer. Construction takes about a week, and while the nests aren't reused, the birds often return to the same tree each year. Humans have long admired these architectural marvels. Much they once used them as slippers and pouches. But next, we meet a much brighter bird, with legs in the water and its mind in the mud. Number 7. Flamingo. When it comes to building in mud, nobody does it quite like the flamingo. These elegant birds don't just stand in shallow water, they shape it. Together, a pair uses their bills and feet to sculpt a tall, cone-shaped nest from wet mud. The mound stands about 45 centimeters high, and just as wide at the base, with a small crater at the top to cradle a single oversized egg. Why the height? It keeps the egg dry during sudden floods and cool under the sun, as moisture evaporating from the surface acts as natural air conditioning. In tight-knit colonies called flamboyances, nests sit less than a meter apart, forming dense grids of mud towers. Once the chick hatches, it stays on the nest for a week before joining a flamingo daycare, while both parents bring meals, including a rich crop milk full of fat and protein. A common myth claims flamingos use twigs or steel for their nests, but that's false. It's all mud, shaped by instinct and determination. Number 6. Woodpeckers. The woodpecker isn't just a bird, it's a full-blown excavation expert. With a powerful beak and a skull built to absorb shock, it drills deep into tree trunks to carve out the perfect nesting chamber. A typical cavity has a tiny entrance hole just a few centimeters wide, leading into a hollow chamber up to 24 centimeters deep. Woodpeckers choose trees with soft, decayed heartwood and tough outer bark, easy to carve, hard to crack. Nest construction can take from 2 weeks to 3 years, depending on the species. The red-cockaded woodpecker, for example, carves into living pine trees over multiple seasons. Inside, the bird lays 3 to 6 glossy white eggs on a bed of wood chips, no twigs or grass, just the remains of its own chisel work. Despite the myth, woodpeckers don't destroy trees, they create homes for hundreds of species. Owls, bats, insects, and other birds use abandoned cavities. Scientists call this the nest web, with woodpeckers as its engineers. Their shock-absorbing anatomy has even inspired human technologies, from camera stabilizers to helmet padding. Number 5. Southern Masked Weaver. The southern masked weaver doesn't just build nests, it builds to impress. Every breeding season, from September through January, the male becomes a tireless construction machine, weaving up to 25 nests per season. It all begins with one bold move, tying a single blade of grass to a branch. From there, he weaves a hanging oval dome, 20 to 25 centimeters wide, using reeds, palm leaves, or long grass strands. The entrance is always at the bottom, often with a short tunnel to keep out predators like monkeys and snakes. Though the nest sways in the wind, it holds strong, it's waterproof, wind-resistant, and engineered with care. Once the male finishes, he puts on a show, fluttering wings, singing, showing off his craftsmanship. If the female approves, she moves in and lines the nest with feathers and soft grass. If not, he tears it down and starts over. Females use unique egg colors to detect imposters, like those laid by cuckoos. Research from the University of Edinburgh shows that males improve with practice, tightening weave patterns and reducing wasted material. If the weaver nest is all about finesse, the next bird is all about scale. Number 4. Hammerkop. The hammerkop doesn't just build a nest, it builds a fortress. This African bird uses up to 8,000 twigs, reeds, grass, mud, and even bits of plastic or cloth to build a massive dome-like structure that can reach 2 meters wide and tall, weighing 25 to 50 kilograms. Construction begins with a flat platform, followed by walls and a thick roof. The pair seals it with a tunnel entrance, about 13 centimeters wide, leading to a hidden inner chamber lined with mud and measuring roughly 50 centimeters across. Building takes around 6 weeks, with the birds making up to 60 trips per hour during peak construction. The finished product is so strong that an adult human can sit on it without breaking it. These structures become mini ecosystems. Owls, kestrels, ducks, snakes, and squirrels often take shelter inside. That's why the hammerkop is called an ecosystem engineer. In East African folklore, disturbing a hammerkop nest is said to bring bad luck, lightning, or disease. Superstition or not, it's worked. These nests remain largely untouched and protected by legend. Number 3. European Beater. With feathers as vibrant as their nesting style, European beaters are tunnel specialists. Instead of building above ground, they dig. Using their bills and feet, they burrow straight into vertical cliffs, sandy banks, or loess walls, sometimes tunneling up to a full meter deep. It takes a mated pair about 20 days to finish a single tunnel, ending in a rounded chamber tucked safely away from predators. During early summer, hundreds, even thousands, of these nests may appear along a single stretch of land. In a 30-year study, scientists documented more than 1,500 nests on one cliff, with 90% concentrated in soft, sandy soil. Inside each burrow, the pair lays 5 to 8 glossy white eggs, taking turns incubating and feeding the chicks. Sometimes, they even get help from relatives in the colony. Teamwork is a key part of their strategy. Older siblings or relatives often return as helpers, offering food and protection, a rare and touching behavior in the bird world. At one point, a rumor spread that beaters attacked honeybee hives, but that simply isn't true. Studies show they primarily feed on wild bees, wasps, and even dangerous hornets, including the invasive yellow-legged hornet documented in 2023. Number 2. The Great Crested Grebe. This bird is a master of water-based architecture. Unlike species that dig into earth or hang nests from trees, the Great Crested Grebe builds a floating platform made of reeds, twigs, and aquatic plants. Anchored to submerged vegetation, the nest gently bobs with the current of calm lakes and ponds, yet remains firmly tethered below the surface. When conditions are right, construction can be completed in just a few hours. Both parents contribute to shaping a stable, buoyant base that can hold 3 to 4 eggs. These eggs begin chalky white but soon stain brown from the damp nesting material. Incubation lasts 27 to 29 days, with each parent taking turns in a rhythm so precise it's almost like a silent dance, each shift lasting around 2 hours. When the chicks hatch, striped and nicknamed humbugs, they're capable swimmers, yet prefer the warmth and security of their parents' backs. For the first week, they ride along, safe, cozy, and connected. A persistent myth once claimed that grebes walk their eggs to shore, but that's completely false. These birds never leave the water during nesting. Their entire reproductive strategy is built around flotation. In the 19th century, their stunning head plumes nearly led to their extinction, as fashion trends drove plume hunting to unsustainable levels. At one point, only 42 nesting pairs were left in the UK. Thankfully, organizations like the RSPB helped turn things around, and today the grebe glides again, nest, mate, and young floating gracefully across the surface. Number 1. Bald eagles. If nature ever handed out blueprints for greatness, the bald eagle would own the patent. These majestic raptors don't just build nests, they create monuments. Massive, layered structures that evolve year after year. A typical eagle nest starts large, around 6 feet wide and 4 feet deep, but the real magic is in their dedication. Each year, the same eagle pair returns, adding new layers of sticks, moss, grass, and even seaweed or kelp. Over time, these nests can grow to 9 feet across, 20 feet deep, and weigh nearly 3 tons. One nest in Florida, built between the 1950s and 1963, still holds the world record for largest bird nest. Eagles select towering trees, 60 to 200 feet high, always close to lakes or rivers teeming with fish. Their nests resemble upside-down wine glasses, with deep, solid walls and a soft, rounded interior that cradles the eggs like a velvet-lined vault. Scientific studies, such as the one from the upper Mississippi between 1990 and 2012, confirm that bald eagles choose nest trees based on branch strength and water proximity. Some pairs remain loyal to the same nest site for over 50 years. There's even a myth that Benjamin Franklin called the bald eagle lazy, but when you witness the sheer scale, effort, and loyalty involved in their nest building, that claim simply doesn't hold up. Now that you've seen nature's real architects at work, from nests with decoy entrances, to floating cradles, to aerial skyscrapers heavier than a car, what surprised you most? What else might we be overlooking? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk. If you're into stories that make you see the natural world in a new light, don't just scroll, subscribe. You won't believe what's coming next.